you through alternative investment analysis, and we are looking at structured products. Under structured products, we will look at the following. Structured products. Now we will be looking at the mortgage-backed securities or mortgage-backed sector of the bond market. Mortgage-backed securities. Mortgage-backed securities. That. Now, under mortgage-backed securities, structured products has got two categories. There is the mortgage-backed securities and there is the asset-backed securities. There. But what we will focus on, we will first of all focus on the mortgage-backed securities, and then we will come later and look at the asset-backed securities there. So let me just rub for now the asset-backed securities. Then what we will specifically look at includes the mortgage, just a brief description, introduction. Then we will move on and look at the mortgage designs. After looking at the mortgage designs, we will be able to look, now talk about specifically fixed rate level payment, fully amortized mortgage. Then we'll talk about adjustable rate mortgage. We'll talk about balloon mortgages. We will also talk about GEMS, the growing equity market, growing equity mortgages, like that. Once we've looked at the types of mortgage designs, we will be able to have a calculation that is going to explain to us how a fixed rate level payment fully amortized mortgage actually works. So we'll have a computation example right there. Then we will now move ahead and look at prepayments and curtailments. Once we've looked at prepayments and curtailments, then we will move ahead and look at the mortgage pass-through securities. Mortgage pass-through securities. After looking at that, we will look at the conditional prepayment rate and the Public Securities Association computation. We are talking about the Public Securities Association and the conditional prepayment rate and conditional prepayment rate like that. We will conclude this lesson or this lecture by looking at prepayment amount for a given amount of single monthly mortality. So prepayment amount for given month based on single monthly mortality. So that is what we are going to look at. We start off by looking at mortgage-backed securities, the introduction. securities. Now, what we need to understand in mortgage-backed securities involve just the securitization process. So we start by looking at the securitization process. The securitization process can be described as follows. We have a set of rectangles like that, and of course we have arrows indicating movement. Here we have, say for example, we have an institution such as HFCK right here, HFCK, Housing Finance Company of Kenya. It is in the business of issuing mortgages to what we can call mortgagees. These mortgagees, once they issue, what HFCK does is that they make a loan, makes a loan or issues a loan to the mortgagees, and the mortgagees are expected to make principal and interest payments every month over the life of the mortgage. So principal plus interest payments, if you allow me to use acronyms like that or letters like that, I can be able to say that this is principal component and this is the interest component, are expected every month to be received by HFCK. HFCK goes ahead and sells the loans. I can put selling in quote like this. What you can say, transfer the loan or transfers the loans from itself or from its books to an entity here called a special purpose vehicle there. When I mean sell, it transfers that responsibility in terms of the management of those mortgagees, in terms of issuing notices to those mortgagees, in terms of issuing threats to the mortgagees, requesting them to make payments to HFCK. So the management now of the mortgages is transferred from HFCK to another entity here called a special purpose vehicle. So here we can say sale of loans, sale of loans. So now the SPV will now chase the mortgagees. You allow that dotted line to be put like so, so that they can be able to make a series, to force them to, or to coax them, so that they can be able to make this series of principal and interest payments. Some mortgagees may not be paying their mortgages on time, and so that is why now the role of the SPV can be applied. Just the same way as you have, excuse me, you have a tenant, agent, and the landlord arrangement, where the agent is a representative of the landlord, so that they can go and chase the tenant. So that agent role is what the SPV is playing. So the agent now goes to the tenant, tells the tenant, you know what, if you don't pay by next week, what is going to happen? You're going to your assets are going to be auctioned like that, so that we can be able to recover the amount of the monthly stay in our buildings there. So that is what we're saying is here. Now the SPV is the one that's going to act as a factor or as an agent of HFCK to chase the mortgages there. Now since the mortgages are with the SPV here, the SPV can now pay a fee to another entity here. So it can use a fee like that, or place a fee there to an agency called the Credit Enhancer. That. So this Credit Enhancer will be expected to now rate the loans. You'll have a cluster of mortgagees paying on time. They're supposed to pay, say, by the 5th of every month. By the 5th, definitely, because of course of a standing order, you tend to find that they actually get a very high rating. So they'll have a rating of AAA mortgages. There'll be another cluster of individuals right over here who seemingly may not be paying on time. They're given a rating of AA, like that, a lower rating, because they're supposed to pay by, say, for example, the 5th of the month. They end up paying by maybe, say, the 15th or the 20th of the month. And then probably you'll have another cluster over here where the multitude of individuals in developing economies actually lie, like that. You can give a rating of A, that is a lower rating. Now these AAA, AA, and A represents ratings in terms of how the mortgages are being serviced. These are superior mortgages, or those mortgages are paying on time. So they're given or are assigned a higher rating. Now the SPV, once it pays a fee to the credit enhancer, and in return it gets rated loans in terms of how the mortgages are servicing the mortgages. They get rated loans like that. And now the SPV, since using that arrow, based on this other arrow over here, it floats them through the Securities Exchange. You can say issuance of rated securities, like that. Now, securities are issued to investors, both institutional investors and individual investors. So these can be investors, like that. You will notice that I haven't explained that arrow and that arrow only. So what happens is this: if an instrument like this has been floated to investors like that, like so. So if you want a piece of this instrument, you must be willing to pay for it. So this is a security. I float it through the exchange. In return, I get money. So once it has been floated over here, KSHS, money flows back up there. Flows back up like that to HFCK. Now HFCK has essentially, if you look at the balance sheet of HFCK at the time of issuance of the loans, you'll have current assets listed over there. You have stock, debtors, or people who owe HFCK money, and now that value of money is indicated over here once it has made the loan to investors, like that. So what happens is that at that point, debtors exist. They represent receivables. Those receivables will be received at some specific future date in time, in a series of payments, like that, as the mortgages are paying on time. So what happens is that now the debtors as through the securitization process, because securitization is actually that part there. This shaded part over here is what you're seeing is securitization. Transforming an asset into tradable instruments is what you're saying is securitization. So the asset or the receivables over here has been transformed into tradable securities over here, and now these debtors, after securitization process has taken place, the debtors, say you have issued debt mortgages worth 1 billion there. Now this is removed, debtors do not exist now there through the securitization process, and now cash at bank 1 billion is added there, because once the security or that instrument has been floated through the Securities Exchange and investors take up a piece of that instrument, this money over here is the one that flows back to HFCK. That is what we're saying is the securitization transaction. And the mortgage-backed securities is modeled around securitization process there. These are the entities towards the mortgage-backed securities or mortgage-backed securities there. This can be HFCK, it can be savings and loans, a subdivision or a division of KCB company or KCB group, and that is also, it's related to mortgages or institutions that issue mortgages, so that you can have that relationship between mortgagee, mortgager arrangement there. That is how the securitization process takes place. So I can be able to explain now here it is the process of converting a receivable a receivable asset into tradable into tradable instruments like that. There are 5 parties to the securitization transaction. We have number 1, the originator, or now which we had given explanation to HFCK. Originator originates the loan or mortgage arrangement. Number 2, we have the customer, mortgagee, makes scheduled principal and interest payments to the originator that. Then we have number 3, party number 3, special purpose vehicle. Special purpose vehicle commences the securitization process by linking the originator to the credit enhancer. Now I need to explain what the credit enhancer does. Number 4, credit enhancer. You can say that the credit enhancer rates the loans that have been sold to the SPV. I already explained how the rating process takes place. And number 5, talking about the investor. Invests in the different classes of securities, i.e. AAA, AA. I said A represents a lower rating as compared to AA, and AA represents a lower rating compared to AAA. This is a superior bond, a bond which has got high yields or high returns. This is an instrument that is high net worth investors, any institutional investors actually consider going for there. So those are the parties to the securitization process. Now, having looked at that brief introduction, we can say here in a new line that mortgage-backed securities are securities. So mortgage-backed securities represent say assets that are backed by pools, that are, or financial assets that are backed by pools of residential or commercial mortgage, pools of residential or commercial mortgage. Residential commercial mortgage mortgage loans, like that. That is it about mortgage-backed securities. The introductory process there, we also say that the borrower is expected to make a series of sequential payments because it is a mortgage. It is a mortgage deal where the HFCK, based on the example I had given, HFCK makes a loan to the mortgagee. The mortgagee is expected to make a series of interest payments every month over the life of the mortgage. Yes, like that. That is what you can be able to say about the mortgage-backed securities. Now, moving on from our summary over here, we have looked at the introduction right there. Now, we need to look at the types of mortgage designs. The types of mortgage designs are these four: fixed rate level payment, fully amortized mortgage. Then we talk about the adjustable rate mortgage. We move on and look at the balloon mortgages and the growing equity mortgages there. So we have types of mortgage designs. Types of mortgage designs. First one, we're looking at fixed rate level payment. Fixed rate level payment, fully amortized mortgage. You can say the mortgagee is expected to make a series of sequential payments on a monthly basis. The monthly payments are usually fixed stroke constant amounts. So if it's, for example, you are servicing a mortgage and the mortgage is required for you, once they've done the computation, or HFCK has done the computation, and you expect to pay a series of interest payments of about 15,000 per month, that is what you're saying is a fixed rate level payment, and it's level, meaning that it is going to be 15,000, and so on and so forth until the entire mortgage has been fully serviced or has been fully financed there. That is what we're saying fixed rate level payment, fully amortized mortgage is. Number two, we can see right here, it is the adjustable rate mortgage. Adjustable rate mortgage, we're saying now it is the opposite of fixed rate level payment. And we have a bond, we have the mortgage payments of the life of the mortgage being like so, 0. We're talking about, say, maybe 360 months, for example, and you expect that after, depending on the way the performance of the economy is going, or how it is being, the economy is performing, we expect that, say, within this period you're supposed to service the loan, maybe say the interest rates is supposed to be 15%, but the economy seems to have been booming, so you expect the interest payments to actually go down, and so the interest rates will also go down, or the mortgage rates rather will also go down, expected to go maybe probably to around 10% like that, and then maybe for the remainder of the period, maybe the economy might be sluggish a bit, then you tend to find that the mortgage payments will also increase back to around maybe say 17% like that. So you're saying it is adjustable rate mortgage there. So it adjusts based on the performance of the economy or economic conditions. So we say the mortgagee is expected to make a series of sequential, probably no, maybe not sequential, a series of payments that fluctuate depending on the performance of the economy, and the prevailing mortgage rates, depending on the performance of the economy, on the performance of the economy and prevailing mortgage rates, Yeah. So we're saying it's expected to make series of payments that fluctuate depending on the performance of the economy and prevailing mortgage rates. So that's pretty much it for adjustable rate mortgage. The third one is balloon mortgages. Balloon mortgages, you expect it to be like so. So here you have 0, 360 months, for example. Just the same way as you blow a balloon, you expect it to see it to start swelling like that over the as it swells like that, it reaches a point where it just pops up over here. So you're saying we have a series of payments over here that increase. So here it's initially 15%, then it goes to 17%, it goes to maybe 19%, probably maybe even to 20% like that. As you can see, it is just swelling, it is increasing like that. Unlike the adjustable rate mortgage, it may increase, it may decrease like that, depending on the performance of the economy. Here we are saying the balloon mortgage is increasing, or the interest, the mortgage rates are actually increasing at a decreasing rate there. So we are saying the mortgage is structured to increase over its useful life, and it increases at a decreasing rate, allowing the mortgage arrangement to shorten the period. So you're saying that this is what is going to happen as the mortgage payments or the mortgage rates are increasing like that. You expect this mortgage duration to try slightly shorten, because if you are paying, for example, 15,000 per month, and over the life of the mortgage payments are increasing, so what happens is that it will increase. So you are supposed to contribute 15,000 under this fixed rate level payment structure, but now in this structure over here, you are paying 15,000 for some period, you're paying 17,000 for some period, 20,000, and so on and so forth. So you expect, because you're contributing much more over the life of the mortgage, what happens is that you should expect that mortgage should actually reduce in terms of the duration, because you're contributing additional payments, what we are calling prepayments. You're prepaying over and above the amount that you're supposed to pay there. Now that is it for balloon mortgages. Number 4, we're looking at the last one is growing equity mortgages. Growing equity mortgages. Growing equity mortgages. What we are saying, GEMS. Now the growing equity mortgages is almost similar to the balloon mortgage, but they increase now at a very high rate over here. So you're saying you're increasing from over here 0,360, you're increasing from 0 to probably this period is increasing to 15%, then it increases to 22%, then it increases to 25%, and like that, and so on and so forth over there. So this one is increasing at an increasing rate, this one is increasing at a decreasing rate there. So the effect of that is that the shortening of the lifespan or the life of the mortgage is expected at a higher rate in the growing equity mortgages as compared to balloon mortgages. We are saying the mortgage is structured to increase the mortgage rate. The mortgage rate, is structured to increase at an increasing rate over the life of the mortgage. The life of the mortgage. There. Now, having looked at the types of mortgage designs, these are the 4 types of mortgage designs. We now look at an example of how we can be able to apply the fixed rate level payments and full amortized mortgage. We expected to understand how an amortization schedule looks like, so that we can be able to see and understand in depth the details about this fixed rate level payment amortized mortgage. So we can be able to look at that on this side here. So the example reads as follows. Consider a 30-year 500,000 shillings level payment, fully amortized mortgage with a fixed rate of 12%. Calculate the monthly payment and prepare an amortization schedule for the first 3 months. So we need to first of all get to know how to compute the monthly payment. Now the monthly payment is computed as follows. So we need solution. The monthly payment. How much are you expected to remove on a monthly basis? We have the formula A multiplied by R into 1 plus R N over 1 plus R N minus 1, like that. That is what you expected to pay. This A represents the amount. A is amount. R is rate. N number of periods. I've already explained A, R, and N. That is what we need to understand. Now that is the monthly payment. However, the interest that is expected to be paid per month we expect the interest which you've been given a rate of 12%. So the interest we're saying is 12%, but now this is annual, so we need to divide by 12 months. So we're saying it's 1% per month there. So we are saying the interest will be 1% times the value of the amount there, which you're saying is 500,000, like that. This looks like probably 5,000. Yes, 5,000 and like that. Now, for us to calculate the monthly payment, we can be able to probably just draw a slight line there so that we can be able to fill in the values. So A is 500,000, so you have 500,000 like that, multiplied by, we can have this R. The rate with the interest rate is 1%, isn't it? So we are saying we are calculating on a monthly basis. So we need to ensure that we are using apples with apples to try and solve this question. We cannot be able to use apples and oranges to do that. So we are dealing with monthly on a monthly basis. So here is 1%, 0.01 into 1 plus 0.01. N is how much? So we are saying we can come back down here. N is, we've been given number of periods is 30 years. 30 years, we need to convert it into months. So we multiply by 12 there. So that is just the same as saying 120 by 3 there, 0, 3, 6. That is 360 months. So we can be able to come and say this is 360 months there. So power 360 over 1 plus 0.01, 360 minus 1. So that is what we are saying we are going to compute the monthly payment there. How much do we get there? So we first of all work out this part when you multiply by 500,000 there. So we are saying it is 0.01 multiplied, rather we work first of all with that one. So 1.01 power 360, and we have 35.94 times 0.01, we have 0.359, so it is 500,000 multiplied by 0.359 over, first of all divide that, so you have 1.01 power 360, 35.94 minus 1, 34.94. So we have 34.949. So you work out that 0.359 divided by 34.949, 0.01. So we are saying we have like that, and then we'll multiply by this component the way it is like that. So we just use the graph. So we first of all work out this part here, then we'll multiply by 500,000 like that. So we have this 0.01 multiplied by, open the brackets, 1.01 power 360, close the brackets. We have 0.359, then we divide by open the brackets twice, 1.01 power 360 like that. We close the brackets, minus 1 there. Then we have how much? 0.0. So we have 0.010286 like that. So now when you multiply by that by 500,000, multiply by 500,000, we have 5143.06, 5143.06 like that. Now this is what we're saying is the sequential interest payments that you'll be able to make there. And looking at the question there, we can be able now to draw an amortization schedule there. So let's draw the amortization schedule. Amortization schedule. amortization schedule. So the first thing we can see there that we have the number, the payment period. So payment, we have payment given to us there. We'll have to have 3 payments, 1, 2, and 3 payments, because we are preparing for 3 monthly payments, or the payments which have been conducted for 3 months. Then we will also need a column that has got initial principal. Then we have monthly payment, and then we have now the interest component, then the reduction of principal, we have reduction, then outstanding principal there. So what we can do, we can now use the ruler so that we can be able to just distinguish briefly right there the columns. This is outstanding principal, this column right there. So that it represents the first payment, the first month. Then we come to the second month right there, then the third month given to us there. Now the initial principal amount was how much? Was 500,000. So we have 500,000 there. The monthly payment, from the question, we can see that the monthly payment required us to compute, and the monthly payment is going to be 5143 all through for the life of the mortgage. So 5143.06, 5143.06, 5143.06 there. The interest component is based on this percentage right here, 1%, the first payment 1% of 500,000, and I had computed it over here as 5,000. So 5,000, like that. Then the reduction of principal. The reduction of principal will be the difference between the monthly payment and the interest component. So this minus that, we can be able to see it's 143.06 like that. Now the outstanding principal will mean that you will take the initial principal, you less the reduction of principal component. So how much do we get there? So we are saying we have 500,000 minus 143.06. We have 499,856. 499,856.9494. It allow me to use like that. Now this outstanding principal, or the closing balance right here, becomes the opening balance right here. So we have 499,856.94 being the opening initial principal there for the second period. Then we have the monthly payment there. The interest component will be now this 1%, not of 500,000, because 500,000 represented the initial principal for the first month, but now it will be 1% of the initial principal at the beginning of the second month there. So times 0.01, and we have 4,998.57. Let's say 57. Now the difference between this and this is how much? So we say 5143.06 minus 4998.57. We have 144.49. Now this value minus that value will give us the outstanding principal, the end of the second period. So we have 499 for 400,000, 400,998 56. I think I said it wrongly. It's 499,856. 499,856.94 minus 144.49. We have 499. 499,712.45 like that. That value becomes the beginning value here. So it's 499,712.45. This one remains. So 1% of this will be 499.712. The difference between this and this, we put it in that column there. So we have 5143.06 minus, we have pardon me, I think 5143.06 minus 499.712. We have 145.94 like that. The difference between that and that gives us that. This minus this will give us how much? So 499,712.45 minus 145.94 gives us 499,566. 499,566.51 like that. That is how we prepare an amortization schedule used in the mortgage industry like that. So that is it. We have done the example that explains us how to do the mortgage, the amortization schedule, sorry. Now we need to move on and look at prepayments and curtailments. Prepayments represent amounts over and above what you're expected to pay. So this is the amount you're expected to pay like this over the life of the mortgage. But any amount that is over and above this amount, what you're expected to pay, is what we're saying is represents prepayments. So we can say prepayments and curtailments. Prepayments represent scheduled monthly payments, scheduled represent amounts, represent amounts over and above the scheduled monthly payments. It is the amount in excess of the monthly payments. You're supposed to pay 5143, you ended up paying, you decided to pay 6,000 shillings. So the difference between this and the 6,000 shillings, you're saying that is the amount of prepayment. Prepayments represent amounts over and above the scheduled monthly payments. Curtailments represent amounts less than the scheduled monthly payments. You're supposed to pay 5143, you're paying 5,000 shillings. So the difference of negative 143 represents curtailments, amounts less than what you expected to pay. Now we've looked at prepayments and curtailments right there. Now we move on and look at mortgage pass-through securities. Still part of mortgage-backed securities, but it has unique prepayment and credit characteristics. So you're saying we're looking at mortgage pass-through securities. Pass-through securities. Mortgage pass-through securities, we are saying if you have mortgages that have been pooled like so, this represents mortgage, this represents mortgage 1, mortgage 2, mortgage 3. What happens is that this pool of mortgages now will be securitized here. Securitize mortgage. Now this mortgage has been pulled over here, and once it is securitized or converted into tradable securities or instruments, then they are issued now to investor 1, investor 2, investor 3. That is what you're saying is a pass-through security. The pooling of mortgages, or the mortgage 1 passes through, or the payments from mortgage 1 pass through and pay up investor 1. Mortgage from mortgage 2 pass through and pay up investor 2, and so on and so forth, like that. So this represent pooling of or a grouping of similar mortgages now that have been securitized and issued to investors, like that. That is what you're saying is a mortgage pass-through security. Now we need now to look at the Public Securities Association and conditional prepayment rate there. So Public Securities Associations, Public Securities Association, Public Securities Association, and conditional prepayment rate, and conditional prepayment rate. Conditional prepayment rate. Now, Public Securities Association is a company, or it is an institution that is used to calculate prepayments, the amount of prepayments or prepayment speeds within any given mortgage pool there. So they usually provide a standard that is used in the investment community to try and see how much amount of mortgages can be prepaid based on the conditional prepayment rate. The conditional prepayment rate is a rate that is used to measure prepayments, and this association provides some standards that are used in the investment community, as I've just said there. So the best way to explain conditional prepayment rate and the Public Securities Association is by looking at an example over here, and the example reads as follows: compute the conditional prepayment rate and the single monthly mortality for the 5th and 25th months, assuming 100 Public Securities Association. So we are saying that Public Securities Association is an institution that is used to calculate prepayments, and they usually use conditional prepayment rate. So we can be able to have the standard, be able to briefly explain the standard that is used in the investment community. So we're saying assuming, so solution, assuming 100 PSA or Public Securities Association. Now we've been told to compute the CPR and SMM for the 5th and 25th month, assuming 100 PSA and 150 PSA. So we are saying assuming 100 PSA, the conditional prepayment rate is given as the standard. You're saying for the 5th month, we're computing for the 5th month. So this is the 5th month times the standard that is used in the investment community based on Public Securities Association. So this is a constant. The value over here of 0.2%, 0.2% is a constant. How much do we get? So this, which I've indicated over here in a star, is a constant as issued by the Public Securities Association there. So how much do we get? So we have 0.2 multiplied by 5, we have 0.01. Now that is the conditional prepayment rate, and 100 PSA, so 100 PSA is equals to 1 times 0.01, yes, 0.01, which is saying is 0.01, like that. Now that is the conditional prepayment rate. Can we be able to compute the single monthly mortality? The formula for computing the single monthly mortality, or SMM, single monthly mortality, which is based on a monthly basis, we're saying is SMM is given as 1 minus 1 minus CPR, or conditional prepayment rate, which is that one over there, power 1 over 12. Power 1 over 12 there. That is what you're saying is the SMM. In this case, we have the conditional prepayment rate as 0.01. So you have 1 minus the CPR is 0.01 there, power 1 over 12. How much is the single monthly mortality? So we have 1 minus, open the brackets, 1 minus, pardon me, so it's 1 minus 0.01. There we have that. We get the 12th root. This power 1 over 12 is the same as getting the 12th root. So we can be able to just say 12 shift that of the answer. We're having 0.999 there. So we have 1 minus 0.999, which you're saying is 1 minus answer mod 3 2. We have 0.000837 there. So this is assuming 100 PSA. So it's 5 times 0.2. This should be 0.1, or we can say is 1%. Is the same as that there. Now this is for the 5th month. What about for the 25th month? So you're saying CPR like that. For the 25th month, we follow the same steps there. 25 times 0.2%. I said this is a constant, so I'll put a star on that. So we have 0.2 that times 25 times 25. We have 0.05, or we're saying 5%. Then we continue. 100 PSA is the same as 1 times the previous value there. So it's the same as, now in this case is 1 times 0.05, yeah, which you're saying is 0.05. Now this is the Public Securities Association 100 PSA. Once we get 0.05, now the single monthly mortality, we can be able to calculate the CPR. We already have the CPR as 5%, so it can be 1 minus 0.05 power 1 over 12 there. You can say, how much do we get? So we are saying it is 1 minus 0.05, we get 0.95. So we get the 12th root of that, yes. Sorry, 12, have 12 shift that of answer. We have 0.995, then 1 minus 0.9957 is given us how much? 1 minus answer, you get 0.00426. 0.00426. That is how we compute the single monthly mortality there. But we've computed assuming 100 PSA. The question is asking us assuming 100 PSA and 150 PSA as well. So for 150 PSA, assuming 150 Public Securities Association there, we have CPR is given as 5 times 0.2. That remains a constant. So 5 times 0.2 there percent, which you're saying we get 1% or 0.01 or 1% there. Then 150 PSA. In this case, the way we had done it over here was 100 PSA. Now we are using 150 PSA. 150 Public Securities Association, and there is we are saying it is 1.5 times 0.01. How much do we get? 1.5 times 0.01. We get 0.015, like that. Now we continue by computing the SMM, or single monthly mortality. It's a monthly basis to see or to try and identify how much can you be able to accept prepayments within the mortgage pool there. So the SMM is 1 minus CPR power 1 over 12, and you're saying we have 1 minus the CPR is 0. How much? How much have you been given the CPR? 0.15. Yes, we've actually computed it over there. 0.15. minus 0.15 there per 1 over 12 there. So how much do we get? We have 1 minus 0.15, rather 0.0. This should be 0.015. So it's 1 minus 0.015 there. Then we get shift of, so we get shift 12 shift there of answer. You get 0.998. So 1 minus 0.9987 is how much? So 1 minus answer 0.00125, 0.001258 there. That's a single monthly mortality, assuming 150 PSA. This is the part that you change right here. So this 150 PSA is just 1.5 times the CPR component there. Finally, for the 25th month, it's just 25th month. We are saying is just the CPR is just 25 times 0.2 percent. How much do we have? I've already rubbed it off, unfortunately. So it's 25 times 0.002 is there times 25, 0.05 or 5%. Now we are saying 150 PSA is given as 1.5 times 0.05. 1.5 times answer, we have 0.075. SMM, single monthly mortality. This is a measure of prepayments on a monthly basis. We have 1 minus CPR, which you are seeing power 1 over 12, like that, which you're saying is 1 minus the CPR is 0.075 power 1 over 12, which you're saying you're getting how much? 1 minus 0.075, just like that. So we get 12 shift answer equals 0.9935. So we're seeing 1 minus 0.99352 is how much? 1 minus answer 0.00648. That is a measure of prepayment. We are saying we can't be able to allow prepayments up to a certain percentage. If it is 0.6% of the entire value of the fund, we can be able to accept prepayments from taking place over there without adversely affecting the overall value in terms of revenue of the mortgage pool. Yes, of the mortgage pool there. Now, having looked at the Public Securities Association and the conditional prepayment rate, we now look at the prepayment amount for a given month based on single monthly mortality. And I think I have actually covered that combined with the Public Securities Association. I've actually computed that there. However, we can be able to briefly look at it, the formula. So the SMM, or single monthly mortality, may be calculated in two ways. It is 1 minus CPR, or conditional prepayment rate, power 1 over 12. The SMM, or given the information, we can be able to say that the SMM is given as the SMM prepayment in month X divided by beginning mortgage balance minus scheduled principal payments. That is how you can be able to calculate the single monthly mortality, or based on any month that you've been given. So this part down here, prepayment amount for a given month based on single monthly mortality, this is for a given month over here. So this is what we are talking about, that you can be able to compute the single monthly mortality if you've been given, or for any period, for any month that you wish. If you've been given this, you've been given the beginning mortgage balance and the scheduled principal payment, you can be able to calculate the single monthly mortality. This brings me to the end of this lesson. We hope that you have enjoyed the lesson, and you will continue with subsequent lessons with Manifested e-learning forum. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to get yourself a copy of our professionally prepared study text and revision partners. Visit our shop along Tom Mboya Street, Pioneer House, 3rd floor, opposite fire station.
Greetings, candidates. Welcome to the study of the subject leadership and management. And in my hand, I have the CASNEB syllabus that was released in 2021 CASNEB revised syllabus for paper number 13, leadership and management. This paper was renamed from strategy, governance and ethics. And in our today's lesson, I'm going to do an adumbration of this subject. The unit description is as follows. The syllabus reads that this paper is intended to equip the candidate with knowledge, skills, and attitudes that will enable him or her to apply and demonstrate leadership and management skills to grow an enterprise under various circumstances and environments, including under uncertainties. That is the main objective of studying leadership and management. It is to equip the candidate with knowledge, skills, and attitudes that will go a long way to enable the candidate apply and demonstrate leadership and management skills in order to grow an enterprise under various circumstances, various environments, including uncertain environments. The syllabus also lists 5 learning outcomes. A candidate who passes this paper should be able to, number 1, demonstrate an understanding of leadership techniques and management principles. Leadership techniques and management principles. Number 2, apply knowledge of leadership and management theories in organizations. Number 3, effectively undertake management functions. Number 4, make rational management decisions in an organizational context. Then lastly, embrace and manage strategic change. These are 5 learning outcomes. Now, candidates, the content is organized in 12 topics. 12 topics. The first one is Introduction to Management. Number 2, Evolution and Development of Management Thought. Number 3, Leading as a Function of Management. Number 4, Other Functions of Management. Number 5, Environmental Analysis. Number 6, Leadership Approaches and Strategy. Number 7, Decision Making. 8, Enterprise Management. 9, Project Management. 10, Marketing Management. 11, Leadership and Strategic Change. Then lastly, Case Studies in Leadership and Management. Case Studies in Leadership and management. These are 12 topics. 12 topics, and candidates will be covering each topic at a time. Each topic at a time. For example, the first topic, introduction to management, we will study the nature of management, importance of management, levels of management, multidisciplinary nature of management, roles of management as advocated by Henry Mintzberg, the changing roles of managers and management, qualities of an effective manager, management and administration. These are the subtopics under the first topics. Then in topic 2, there are 3 categories of evolution and development of management thought. Is organized in 3 subsections. Number 1 is the classical approaches to management. Number 2, behavioral management approach. Then modern management theories. The third topic, leading as a function of management, will study differences between management and leadership. We'll study attributes and skills of a good leader. We look at the delegation, responsibility, and accountability. Then we will cover power, authority, and accountability. In topic number 4, which is known as other functions of management, we will discuss the planning function, the organizing function, the staffing function, and the controlling function. Topic number 5, which is environmental analysis, we are expected to cover microenvironment, macro environment, internal environment, external environment, and tools of environmental analysis. Then in topic number 6, leadership approaches and strategy, we look at the leadership traits, leadership styles, leadership skills, formulation of an organization's strategic direction, differences between transactional leadership and transformational leadership, conflict resolution mechanisms, then ethics in leadership. In topic number 7, we'll discuss the importance of decision-making models, types of decisions, decision-making process, problem-solving skills, decision-making under different conditions, challenges in decision-making, effective, and lastly, effective decision-making. In topic number 8, we are expected to study the meaning and concept of entrepreneurship, entrepreneur development, enhancing creativity and innovation in organizations, methods of generating ideas, introduction to business plan, protection of intellectual properties. That is the last subtopic in the study of enterprise management, protection of intellectual properties. In topic number 9, candidates are expected to cover number 1, project management concepts. Number 2, characteristics of a project. Number 3, importance of projects. Number 4, features of projects and baseline surveys. Number 5, illustration of the project life cycle. Number 6, project planning and organizing. Number 7, project resources and costing. Then lastly, number 8, project completion and evaluation. In topic number 10, known as marketing management, we will discuss the meaning and importance of marketing. We will look at the marketing management orientation or philosophies. We study the marketing mix. We'll discuss the development of marketing information. Number 5 is the marketing strategies. Then we have marketing research and intelligence. And lastly, international marketing and e-commerce. Topic number 11, leadership and strategic change. We will consider the meaning of change, theories of change, types of organizational change, managing resistance to change, organizing the change context, levers for strategic change, methods of introducing strategic change, problems of formal change programs, leading change is the last subtopic under leadership and strategic change. Then lastly, there is a case studies in leadership and management. Case studies, we will discuss or look at different case studies in leadership and management. So candidates, these are the areas that you are expected to study in your endeavor to gain knowledge, skills, and attitudes that will enable you to apply and demonstrate leadership and management skills to grow an enterprise. And that should be done under various circumstances. You're expected to manage an enterprise under various circumstances and environments, including uncertain environments. So I hope, candidates, you will be joining us in all the lessons. We are going to cover each and every aspect of this syllabus. It is expected that as we go through this syllabus, when you join these classes, make sure you take down notes. If you have questions, you are free to post your questions. Below this syllabus, there is a comment section where you can ask questions. Make sure you also practice active recall. Carry out continuous revision. Over and above the video lectures, we have also developed the study materials, study texts, and revision books based on the revised syllabus that was promulgated in the year 2021. The books are updated and they cover all these areas that we've mentioned. So make sure you study ahead. Study ahead. Always study ahead. Make sure you familiarize yourself with the various aspects of the syllabus, and as we progress with this coverage of this syllabus, make sure you always go back, answer questions, past paper questions, because some of the topics in leadership and management were retained, because I remember I said that this subject, leadership and management, was just renamed. In the old syllabus, the paper was known as strategy, governance, and ethics. There are certain topics that were maintained, like the first one, introduction to management. There is a topic on evolution and development of management thought. Other functions of management were also retained, like the planning function. We covered it in the previous syllabus, organizing function, the staffing function, controlling function, and even leadership approaches and strategy. These are some of the topics that were retained in this current syllabus. All right. The only new topics that are introduced here I can see is enterprise management. Some subtopics are enterprise management. Project management is also a new topic, including marketing management. Though candidates in the old syllabus, when some of us were studying this course, we studied project management and marketing management. These topics have been reintroduced in the syllabus. So you can see, candidates, we have past paper questions from these areas that I've mentioned. So as we progress, make sure you revise, look at the past paper questions from our revision partners. Check our revision partner. We have past paper questions with solutions. So as we progress with the coverage of this syllabus, make sure you carry out continuous revision. Don't wait at the last minute in order to revise. No. Continue revising. When, for example, when you are done with topic number 1, go to the revision books, look at the questions that have been tested in the past under this topic, because in the revision books, we have organized the questions topically. So it's very easy for you to locate questions based on the topic that that we are covering in the subject leadership and management. So candidates, thank you for choosing to study with the Manifeste Publishers. We endeavor, we plan, we are ready to help you gain the required skills, the required attitudes and knowledge that will enable you meet the objectives that I read here. Remember, by the end of this training, number one, the syllabus states that you should be able to demonstrate an understanding of leadership techniques and management principles. Number two, you should be able to apply knowledge of leadership and management theories in organizations. Number three, you are expected to effectively undertake management functions. Number four, a student or candidate who passes this paper should be able to make rational management decisions in an organizational context. Then lastly, you are expected to embrace and manage strategic change. It's not just about knowing the principles or memorizing a few concepts. No, at the end of the training, it is envisaged that you should embrace and manage strategic change among the other objectives that I have read. So that is our intention. That is our purpose, to equip you with the knowledge, with skills and attitudes that will enable you to apply and demonstrate leadership and management skills that will enable you to grow an enterprise under various environments or circumstances, including environments and circumstances that are uncertain. So you can see, candidates, the training is not limited to you passing the exam. The skills that you gain here should enable you to demonstrate, to practice, to manage, to apply, to embrace, to make rational management decisions in an organizational context. So thank you one more time, and hope to see you as we continue studying leadership and management. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to the lesson. The subject is business and data analytics. Today we are going to study the various types of data analytics. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain at least 3 types of data analytics. Types of data analytics. Types of data analytics. Data analytics, learners, is a broad field, and there are 4 main types of data analytics. There are 4 main types of data analytics. Number 1 is known as descriptive analytics. Number 2, diagnostic analytics. 3, predictive analytics. 4, prescriptive analytics. 4 types. Descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics, and prescriptive analytics. Now, each type here has a different goal and a different place in the data analytics process. Descriptive analytics is the first one. Descriptive analytics helps answer questions about what happened. Answer questions about what happened. What happened. And the techniques here summarize large data sets to describe outcomes to the stakeholders. And by developing the key performance indicators, all right, the strategies can help track successes or failures. And we may also have specialized metrics that are help to track the successes or the failures in an industry. We could have metrics such as return on investment, which is used in many industries, and so on. So the process here requires the collection of relevant data. Here it requires the collection of the relevant data, the processing of the data, data analysis, as well as data visualization. And the process here provides essential insight into the past performance, because data analytics answers the question, what happened? It looks into the past, the history, what happened in the past, what is the past performance, and so on. So descriptive analytics looks into the history, into the past, what happened. The second type of data analytics is diagnostic analytics. And here, diagnostic analytics helps answer the questions about why things happened. Why things happened. This is what happened. Diagnostic answers the question, why things happened.